Welcome to Business Success Tips, where you learn to make more money in less time, hopefully a lot more fun. I'm your host, Paul Sanneman. I'm founder of Contractor Staffing Source. We help contractors build great teams. My guest today is Brad Herda from Vision Forward Business Solutions. So, Brad, tell me about coaching. Why did you choose to be a coach?
I don't know that I chose it versus it's just part of who I was. I've been very blessed to work for a lot of great leaders, to see a lot of things happen, and being in the manufacturing construction world most of my adult life, and just being the person to solve the problem has created that opportunity for me to see things differently and ask questions and live through curiosity than just being a dictator. And that has
Right.
served me very well throughout my career and my leadership roles.
So, one of the questions I've been a coach for you, my biggest problem was how do you get somebody who's a craftsperson, right? Who's like good at building or doing something to make that transition to an entrepreneur? I remember one time I was having a meeting with somebody and I said, "You don't value what I'm doing," because working on planning and strategy. Because I took off work to do this.
Well, yeah, I stopped making money. No, you didn't stop making money. You're actually going to make more money when you decide that you're actually going to not be the individual contributor as well as the business owner. And that's
Right.
usually that transition point is when you go from being the guy that was working for the company to go out on your own, and now you got your own, and I got to start hiring people, but you're also still working. That's where
Mhm.
the transition and difficulty really comes into that business. And you have to make a decision. Do I want to be bigger, or am I comfortable where I'm at? And that's truly a decision. And where I see most failures is when you're trying to ride that fence line of I want to be bigger, but I don't want to let go of things.
Right. I have a funny joke, my consulting joke. I said, somebody's walking along a cliff. You'd appreciate this. And he falls off the cliff and he's hanging onto a rope, right? And his name was Lenny. And he starts praying. He says, Lenny, he says, God, get me, I'll do anything, God, get me out of here, right? He says, Lenny, and then finally God comes and talks to Lenny. Will you do anything I say? He says, anything, absolutely anything, just get me out of here. He says, Lenny, let go. Is there anybody else I can talk to? It's the hardest
Yep.
thing to do, isn't it?
It is. And when I was going through my career, I started out my buying career at Bucyrus and doing metal fabrication work, and I had those relationships, and I started hiring my team, and I had to start letting go of those things, and I felt that I no one could do it better than me. And the fact of
Right.
the matter was they did it better and they did it smarter, and we got stronger because I was able to use my skills and talents more strategically than tactically. And our department grew and we got better at it. And that's the part that we bring forward to our client base is how do we support that so they can grow and be better and be more sustainable and have more value at the end when they decide they want to transition, exit, sell to that PE firm or whatever it might look like.
Right. Now, I've worked with a lot of coaches. How would people, there's a lot of coaching companies out there, right?
Yep.
How do you think you should go about, with people listening to this podcast, how do you think they should go about choosing the right coaching company or coach for them? What should they look for?
For me, it's all about fit and jive. If you can't get along with the individual or you don't trust the individual, it's never going to work, regardless of what's going to happen.
Mhm.
Um, and if your core values don't align, then it's a no-go. So usually for me, I have my core values. So when I'm interviewing prospects, I try to make sure that there's alignment there. And we all know it's like when you try to go to that job and you're doing your estimates and you're like, "Ooh, do I really want to work with this customer? Do
Right.
I really want to work with? Oh, but it's $100,000 job, but and you take the $100,000 and it turns into a complete total. Is this an
Mess.
explicit show, or are we okay or not okay to swear on this show?"
Yeah, anyway, it turns into, I know what you mean. It sucks, right?
Yeah. So it's like, okay, great. And that's similar way in coaching. You're gonna have a feel and vibe as to whether or not that person makes sense or doesn't make sense. Are they blowing smoke up your ass or not, or they get what you're coming from and can they relate to who you are? And there are folks that are going to be more financially focused, operationally focused, people focused, life coaching folk, all those things. Where is it that you want to be? For me, I'm a people and process person.
Okay. So, I know in choosing a coach, I always tell people if you're not looking forward to your next meeting, I mean, if you're not looking forward because you haven't met your goals and you're willing to be accountable, that's one thing. But if you just not don't like the guy or woman, I would not, that's not the right coach. Would you agree?
Correct. Yeah. If you feel like you're paying money and getting no value, then you're not getting any value.
Right.
because that then you're not, it's not the right fit. And I've had clients in the past early on where it's like, this feels like it. And when a relationship's about to come to an end too, because when it feels like you're just everybody's kind of just doing the thing and you're just kind of
Right.
towing around, you know that it's time for something new.
Yeah, I mean, I tell people, if you have an employee and they look at the phone and go, "Oh my God, it's John," they should let John go because the energy's not there, right? I mean,
Correct.
so I think it's important that the synergy's there, the energy's there. So tell me about maybe some example of companies you've worked with and how you've made a difference and how you think you can do that again.
So one of my young clients, he started his machine shop, fabrication shop out of his garage while working full time. He is now that business has now grown basically 12x over 3 years. Bought a family legacy building that he's now out of. Just recently purchased a press brake and laser machine for his business, all cash, no debt. And getting him to be a leader and have his team grow from one person to seven. And it's been a journey, and we're now putting in a quality system because his organization is changing. So
Mhm.
he's going after different customers, and he has to now lead differently and have his business run differently. Um, Starting with him at the beginning to where he is now, and he continues to always tell me, "I never would be here if I didn't have you on my side to have
Right.
those conversations and support him when cash flow gets tight or things happen." It's like if you just do the activity, sales will come. You got to do the work in order to get the revenue. It just doesn't show up overnight.
Well, I know a lot of times you're dealing with a coach. Most contractors are sort of solo guys. I mean, they don't want to tell anybody anything, right? So to me, a coach is like a committed long-term relationship. Sounds like a marriage, but it is because you've got somebody you can share ideas with, can, support you. You can be honest with and say, look I hate that job. I don't like them. And they're not going to judge you. They're going to help you. But unfortunately, sometimes your spouse, your kids, your boys,
Right.
they tend to go from judgment, right? And you don't want to talk to them because you don't want to be a bad guy, right?
Correct. Yeah. So he was looking to get some new welders and he really liked this one brand. And he's like, I don't have 40 grand for these welders. I said, well, did you call the dealer to find out if they got any demos off a trade or anything like that? And he got two welders for 17 grand because they were demo units that they couldn't
Right.
sell new and they were willing to help him out because he was a good guy. And they're like,
Mhm.
okay, well, you just saved $28,000 because you asked a question
Right.
that you didn't think of otherwise.
Right. So, how's your structure? They work with you, they work with your team. How does your structure and coaching work?
My structure, we work with myself. We do have others in my network that I can refer out to and be part of. I don't know everything. I don't know all the things, but um, right, the team that comes along in my network, the
Mhm.
lawyers, the bankers, the insurance
Right.
folks, the whatevers, those all come along for the ride. We typically work on a biweekly or weekly engagement. Um, and just go from there, hour and a half. If it's in the local area, it's in person. If it's
Wow.
not, it's virtually.
Cool. So I would say one of the guys who listen to there's a lot of coaching companies that have like 20 coaches or process or whatever. And there's what I call the boutique guys are one off and they do it themselves. So what you're saying is you're actually the guy, right? I mean, so
Yes,
when people call you, they're going to get to know you and work with you, and they're buying you, not some kind of system that's an abstraction, right?
correct. I have the support behind me from a systems perspective, but most don't care about the system. They want the problem that's bothering them now solved.
Right.
And um, yes, mission, vision, values, those are all important, but nobody ever wants to start there. We eventually
Mhm.
always get to them because they're
I
important.
know. For a lot of times, I would have agendas for meetings, but I'd never follow them. Right? I mean, you show up at the
Correct.
meeting, and the person goes, "We're going to discuss your, EOS rocks or product," and they go, "My wife's leaving me, or I lost my last employee, or I lost my biggest
Correct.
client." That's what it's about. Somebody when they need you, you're there for them, right?
Correct. Oh, dad's pissed that this is going on right now. Okay,
Right.
well, let's figure out how to make that happen. Or, because it's a lot of family business work that I do, and
Hmm.
the kids are this or the parents are that, or brother, sister, aunt, uncle. It's a lot of that daily activity where it's what do we do here?
Right. And so tell me, who's your ideal client, Brad? I mean, if you're saying somebody's listening to this, they go, "I wonder if I'm a good fit for Brad." Who's your avatar, your wheelhouse? Who do you like to work with? What size,
I
what kind, what kind of company?
I like to work with family-owned, privately held businesses that are typically either in the uh, getting into the growth stage or being prepared to exit, either one of those two stages. I love working on family transition and succession exit planning in order to
Hmm.
support that so that we can have that multi-generational legacy.
Hmm.
That's really important to most family members. And
Right.
it's a difficult struggle because of the age gap that's going on with how generations have done,
Well, there's
how
always the problem is you've got the son who isn't old enough to take over the
correct.
dad's job, and then you got the guy in the middle who you want to have do the job, but he's not going to get the company because he's not a relative, right?
Correct. And being able to facilitate that and support that is it's a lot of fun, and it's very enjoyable for me to do that, to be that bridge to kind of either accelerate the family member into that ascension by removing some of that parent-child relationship and making it behave
Hmm.
as an entity, as a business relationship versus
Hmm.
just a parent, because as parents we all have our biases, we all have
Right.
those things, and it takes time to work those out. um, and typically in that 1.5 to 7 million is the typical revenue range.
Okay.
Manufacturing, construction, trades, that is what I enjoy working. The folks that
Okay.
make things, create things, do things,
Okay.
repair things. Um, that doesn't mean that I have not worked with lawyers and insurance companies and other service providers, but
Right.
the blue collar space is what I enjoy.
Okay, cool. So if people want to get in touch with you, Brad, and they feel like a connection from this video, they go, I would like to talk to this guy. Do you do like a free introductory meeting, or
Oh
how do
yeah.
you like connect with people?
Yeah, connect on LinkedIn. I'm out there all the time. Phone numbers 414-852-4224. As most phones won't, if you don't know someone, just leave a message. I'll get back to you.
Okay.
Otherwise, 𝗵𝘂𝗹 at focalpointcoaching.com as well. My website is 𝗵𝘂𝗹𝗂𝗿solutions.com. There's lots of ways to find me, but LinkedIn is usually the easiest to find myself
Okay.
there.
Okay, great. Well, my recommendation is if you're not looking forward to your next coaching meeting, or if your spouse is your only coach, just kidding.
Those are sometimes a fun one to start a relationship with. It's
I
funny,
definitely.
my husband and wife. Oh, okay.
Oh, I know how that works. Come on, we're gonna go. Okay, cool.
It's a marriage counseling session.
Okay, very good. You did it. So I give Brad a call because you're actually going to get him, which is not a lot of coaching companies you don't get the guy. So I think Brad, if you get feel the chemistry, feel like Brad's a good guy, and you're not happy with the coach, and I think everybody should get that. Just be very shut up. Give Brad a call. Brad, I really appreciate being here. Thank you for your time.
No problem. Thank you.